Let me show you how I achieve my flawless base. I'm going to color correct foundation first with your finger before you use your brush. Do not skip the forehead over here. My foundation down my neck. Bronzing and sculpting stick, blush sticks, pure red shade, and apply it to the high points of my cheek like this, closer to the apples of my cheeks. Tapping motions, I'm blending this up. Foundation brush, just tap over the edges of my base, my concealing shade, and I apply to my under eyes, avoiding the innermost corner above my lid and in the center of my chin. I also like to apply to the center of my forehead. The brightening shade I'm using, and I'm applying this under my eyes in the innermost corner, the bridge of my nose, and then I do kind of like to mix this in with the other shade on the center of my forehead. Setting spray before I blend out my concealer. Next, I absolutely love this. I'm using 2 concealer brushes, blend out the concealer on my face. I like to blend out my under eye last, so I'm going to blend out every other area of my face. I also like to go back in again with my foundation brush and just kind of tap along the edges. Flawless with no harsh lines. Blend the concealer on my nose with my finger. Then I grab my foundation brush and just blend along the side. Blend in my concealer. I'm going to blend the darker shade first, and then I'm going to blend the inner corner with my second concealer brush to set under my eyes. Powder brush to apply this. Blend out any creases, and without looking down, set my under eye with my powder. I'm going to set every area that I applied my concealer, powder foundation, to set the rest of my face. Going back in with the brush I used to apply the lighter shade, and I'm just tapping over the edges. Go in with my loose setting powder. I'm using a powder puff by the powder. I always make sure to smooth it out in the palm of my hand, reverse contour the side of my nose, and then go in and apply the powder under my eyes. Bake my upper lip and where my smile lines are, down the bridge of my nose. Add a very light layer on my forehead. I'm going to apply my powder bronzer, and I leave my powder on to bake for as long as it takes me to apply my powder bronzer. I just love how a bronzed forehead looks. And then of course I'm going to do my jawline. Excess powder on my powder puff to carve out my cheekbones. Immediately dust it off. I'm just going to press the setting powder into my under eye. The brush I use to apply my lighter setting powder, and I use this to blend and dust away all of the excess powder. I'm going to use my setting spray again, and then I'm going to fan this down and contour my nose. I'm just going to follow the lines that have formed from my reverse contour, blend it up towards my brow bone, apply bronzer to the bottom of the nose, nostrils as well. And then I like to kind of emphasize the natural contours I have on my nose. My blush, I'm applying it to the high points of my cheeks, closer to my temples. I'm going to mix in this pinky shade. It's going to apply closer to the apple of my cheek, and I'm also going to use this shade to blend my under eye into the deeper shade of blush. Use a brighter powder to highlight my under eye some more. Apply this to the innermost corner of my under eye. I'm going to lightly sweep downwards to kind of blend this into the blush. I do go back in with my blush brush that I use to apply the pink blush. I like to go in again with my Morphe setting spray to melt all these powders together. I finish off my base with a setting and a fixing spray. I love this setting spray so much. And then I'm going to finish off with a fixing spray. And this is my completed base routine. Smooth, flawless, and it's going to last all day. I hope you learned something new. Let me know if you try it.